Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Sharon. I'm a potter from Queensland, Australia. I promised that I would tape some footage of me carving and underglazing a design, if you've seen my previous video with the turtle and the whale. But I thought I'm going to do it today on a mug. This is one I threw yesterday. It's Keen's Speckled Buff. Unfortunately, that didn't tape. I have carved him, so I will carve another one on the other side. It's going to be a two-sided mug, obviously. That's where I want his beak to end. That's where I want his tail to end. Very, very, very loosely sketch him in. This to come down here, and then it curves right round down to there, further down there. Blasted thing keeps blowing away. This body comes up underneath and down, right down to the tail. A bit too big. That's alright, that'll come off in the relief. He has shoot straight out about to there, and this comes up there, up to there. There we go. Now with this one I'm going to bring it upside down because this beak I want very fine. So from upside down and flick it out. I am actually going to put some flowers coming up down there too. So then the other side of his beak will come down here, curve around. Now I am going just on the very outside of these lines. I'm going to turn this mug around again in a minute when I get the guidelines for where I want this to go. Come down here, that will be his tail, his body. Cut that in slightly. I've given him a bit more of a belly than I wanted, but that's okay. Around there, one under there. Bring him round out here, round into the head. Now I want a couple of flicks to make these wings shortly. And these ones here actually join up. Just going to do this and turn it round to do that. There we go. I want that pressed out there, but I want to cut it in back down there a bit finer. So now I am going to take this tool on the corner and very gently, because this isn't a very deep mug, just scrape that back to make it in relief. And now that is feather light touch on it. And then I'll flip it round to there, to there. See, I'm flipping it round to get it cut around these wing portions. I might just go up one side of there and down the other. I'm going to have to do two of these birds if this video doesn't turn out. So again, cut it. Use the very side of that tool, which I will smooth all this out later as well. A lot of this will make more sense when I paint. Now coming down the inside on here, and you're just cutting into that line at a very fine angle with that tool. Be very careful not to take the bird away, because I can smooth that but I can't put that back in. And being very careful not to take too much out at once. I want these legs cut around and that one cut around. Working off greenware is fraught with danger. This is very, very fragile. I don't want to cut that in too much because that will actually not be very deep, very thick. I'm going to have to be very careful with that. Come down and just shave a tiny bit off the top. Just a tiny, tiny bit off the top. Be very careful not to put the tool in above it. However, there will be branches there, so that's okay. Or some fine sandpaper work, one of the two. Around the top of the head. Now, these, I want that one to come out there. this one to come out there, and that one to come out there. And down here, more individuals, so I'm going to cut that back in there. Cut that one back in there. That one back in there. So down from this very fine beak to the top of the head. This tool angles in, so it gives a beveled edge to the design, which is very fine, this design. Down to the easy bit here, being very, very careful not to take too much off. It's a little more than I wanted. Clay's not quite as dry as I thought. That's alright. Got to be very careful to keep this outer edge up, because otherwise if you go like that it gouges into the pot. And although if it was a vase I could put holes in it and make a feature out of it, it's a coffee mug. A bit hard to put holes into a coffee mug and have it functional. Very hard, as a matter of fact. Just down here it's a lot, because the base of the cup is thicker. Cut out around those feet. And on this side, most of that will be picked out with paint, not with carving. Can switch the tool around, but I want to be very careful around here to get a reasonably smooth line first go, particularly up to this beak, and bevel it out from there. You will have scratch marks, it's unavoidable. So I'll find sand after this with, I'm not sure what yet, or maybe a damp cotton bud may work too. Maybe. And he's carved. Okay, water and very fine paintbrush, and I am pretty much going to water carve this out as well. Technique I've wanted to do for a while. That's working a treat. This is a very, very soft paintbrush, and I don't want to destroy any of the details of the carving. Nor do I want to knock the handle off. I also have a sponge. Being very careful not to go too close. Drag away that slip that the brush has just picked up. This stage, if I see anything that I want to remove a little bit more from, this is the way to do it. Get a fine microfiber cloth. Wipe that slip back. While it's damp, I want a little more definition there. Perfect, I like that effect. Work it into a slip, pick it up, and get rid of it. No idea if this is how you do water carving. It's certainly working for me. Wet brush, work it into a slip, dry the brush, rinse and dry the brush off, pick up the slip. Oh. Water carving technique by Sharon. Okay. Huh. No idea, but it's working. Very careful not to lose these feet. Gonna have to put those back in, but I want them there. And very, very careful around this fine beak. I'm going to water carve the underside and leave the top in relief. And don't drop the greenware mug. Head. I do want that head a little more defined, so come back in. Virtually shave the slip off. Take the brush, only damp and smooth. Lost that beak there, but that's alright. I'm going to carve the relief on the top out. And do this upside down so it doesn't run down into the wings, and get rid of all the wings, because that would be very unimpressive. Okay, just put back that beak. And just put back those legs. More feet. Gouge that body somewhat, so get rid of it. I'll just smooth it. Don't want that. Smooth it. That's probably as thin as I can go on this piece. Water carved bird. And a second carved bird. Put some of this flowers, just a suggestion of what he's feeding on. Rely on colour to tell the story of what this is. What is I? Had life. And again on this side before I lose it. Little flick at the end, and I want the mere suggestion of plant life, of blossoms. Poor little guy must be up there with his beak stuck in somewhere. And to find that head and give him an eye. Hi everybody. Well, that went quite well. Better than I hoped or expected. So the first side of the mug that I carved, it taped really well. I didn't think it taped at all, but it had taped, and as you can see from the beginning of the video, all of a sudden, I start talking like that. So something went wrong with the videotaping and I didn't get the whole of that side. But I did get the entire carving on the other side, which was the same bird and all the rest of it. So I have two sides now that I'm going to hand paint, and I will tidy those mugs up and get them ready for painting. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed that video of me, an amateur, carving a mug. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, share the video, and I'll see you in the next one, where I will hand paint with underglazes on the greenware mug, ready for firing in bisque. Bye for now.